That's something I truly believe in. You actually start visualizing yourself giving a talk in front of those sharks, and that helps you, because that's where your brain starts functioning towards that direction. And everything and anything that is happening around you, you start looking at it from a business perspective, from a service product perspective, from a product perspective. So things change, and I think that's something that you should be a little more aware of as a student. And 5 years, 7 years, 10 years down the line, whether you have 3 companies or you have 10 companies will be irrelevant. What will stay relevant is, are you still following the right process on a daily basis? And that is what I want to address. So multitasking, like I said, I will again repeat it. I will continue to repeat it, because this is something that a lot of people don't understand. You will have to be good at multitasking. You will have to do a lot of, different things. So yes, this is how it works. Priyanka, over to you.
Yeah, thank you, Daksh. And a very curious question coming to my mind. It's I would like to get answered that in this competitive world of startups, and it's while being from academic background, I understand how many people are starting these trainings, personality development. But what was that niche? What was that specific which you have taken up, which you have adopted your way of working, and you have gone to Shark Tank?
Okay, so I have actually not gone on Shark Tank. I work with people who have been on Shark Tank. And as a Shark Tank concept, Shark Tank is, again, a game changer when it comes to the startup ecosystem. And as far as the startup ecosystem is concerned, it really gives you, it's breaking the stereotype, it's challenging the stereotype, and the the taboo behind doing something of your own and risking everything, and having the possibility of failing, and life will be over, and what have you done about a degree, and these are things that Shark Tank has really addressed very well. So I work with Shark Tank founders, Shark Tank pitchers. A lot of them are my friends. I've personally invited them to some of my events, etc., etc. As far as my line of business is concerned, I started from training and development. We understood that interview preparation, body language training, personality development was a concern, was a problem. And, we started addressing that through bringing the right corporate trainers on board, devising a curriculum that would be then taught at colleges, universities, and then also help companies come into the college for campus placement. So that's what I addressed. And that was a differentiator, where we were also helping companies come in for placement, not just training them. So we were becoming a more of a solution provider, a holistic solution provider, than just training, because that was not enough. Along with training, you also need the right companies to come and hire from colleges. So that's what I identified. And that's how everything sort of kicked off.
Okay, that's great. And as we do have school children with us, especially 9 to 12, so I would like to understand from you that how should they take up entrepreneurship as a career option in future, how they need to prepare, or maybe it's not the right time to talk about preparing for entrepreneurship, but to what kind of perception they should have about the career option entrepreneurship versus a professional journey.
So when you talk about entrepreneurship, from a Golgappa ke dukaan wala to an edtech company's founder, everybody is an entrepreneur.
Yes.
What is a Golgappa guy doing? If that's a little shop where he's selling Golgappas, what is he doing? He has invested in the thela or the stall that he's putting up. He's probably purchased it or took it on rent. He has to purchase the raw material, the Golgappas, aate ka, suji ka. He's getting it from somewhere, or he's making it by himself. If he's making them by himself, then he's buying atta, so he's putting in that effort. So he's pumping in money. He will have to have a QR code. He will have to have a bank account. He will probably employ a chotu where he's helping him. He would also have some light. He will have some paper plates. He'll have to go to the right person to get the cheapest paper plate. He will then also need a skill set of making the right golgappas to make it tasty so that people come back again and again. He will also wherever he's putting that thela, he will have to pay rent to that area, to that locality. At the same time, he has to provide good quality service in terms of hygiene, in terms of taste, so that the customer is happy and then wants to come back. A very simple question I have to you: if today I say, you have to go to a place and have golgappas, you will know exactly where to go. You know that one shop or one area where you would go for golgappas. Why? Because that place is good. He serves, or he or she serves good golgappas, right? But coming to think of it, that person is not a job, is not a corporate employee. He has invested money in setting up something. He has taken financial risk. He has to purchase raw material to deliver the final output, get money back in return, take some profit out so that he can feed his family, so that his children can study, and then reinvest it in the next day. He has to buy raw material again tomorrow. If also there is risk, if it's raining heavily, nobody is going to come out and have golgappas. So he's also dependent on weather. So there's a risk factor involved as well. So, and if you look at it from an edtech founders and an academy, a great learning, or a geeks for geeks, the same concept. Over there, they are providing educational learning. They have courses, they have online programs, and then they have employed different kinds of people. And they have to market, they have to put in money, they will get money in return, they will put in money again, they will take something out from profit. It's the same concept. So at the end of the day, even a golgappa ki dukan wala is an entrepreneur. He has identified a problem, he's given the solution, and he's monetizing it. He's not giving it to you for free. So if he can, then why can't we?
Yes, very true.
What we have to understand, what we want to do, what kind of interest area we have. It will depend a lot on the interest area. So if you have a question that, sir, which industry is doing well, or which industry should I start a business in, that is not the right question. The question should be, if given all the resources today, you have the money, you have the resources, you have the knowledge of everything, what is that one thing that you would want to start tomorrow? With a given factor that you have the resources required for it. What is that one thing that you would want to do tomorrow? So that you need to understand, and that is what you have to work upon.
Yes, yes. So I think we can extract that they have to start understanding what tunes them, what is something where they find their interest and able to give their 100%. And when your work is not work is as per your interest, it's not work. Rather, it's a fun for you, as you are saying.
Absolutely.
And yes. And here at IPEC TBI, handling more than 90 startups, we can understand that entrepreneurship is all about an all-rounder task. Until unless you don't understand your logistics, your supply chain, your operation, your marketing, your branding, investors, how to prepare your pitch deck, and how to even pitch, and how to network, how to reach to people, communication. You need everything as a founder, as a co-founder.
Absolutely.
So this is a person, kind of a personality, where you need to inculcate all sort of traits as human being. And here, where we see the role of spirituality, or maybe connecting to reading good books, reading good biographies to take motivation. So here the question which I would like to ask from the audience side: what are the challenges faced by an entrepreneur while starting a business?
Well, I think the first challenge that you find is formulating a standard operating procedure for day-to-day work, even if it's for just for yourself. To have a structure behind what you want to do and how you want to do it is the first problem. You really have to write it down. You have to make a chart of all the things that you want to do. If let's say I want to set up a Golgappa ki dukaan, all right. Today, if I were to ask you which are the best momos in the city, you would know exactly where to go. But guess what? There is something called Wow Momo that is selling momos. Shark Tank India season 1, the first episode, the first presenter is Momo Mami, Aditi.
Yes.
They
Yes.
are now getting into retail. They are now getting into frozen momos that you can make at home. Now, so to say that somebody on Shark Tank India is an entrepreneur, but somebody at a thela is not an entrepreneur is going to be wrong. But then, how do you formulate that plan? What do you want to do? So, if you want to sell momos, where are you going to get it from? How much money is it that you will need? For if you want to do this peacefully for at least 4 months, what is the plan of action you need on a daily basis? How many people will you need? How will you market? Which are the locations that you will need, etc., etc. This needs to be penned down on paper and then thought from a third person perspective whether this will work or not. What are the possible challenges? What are the possible questions that can come up? And this is where eye for detail, going deeper into a day-to-day routine is important. So to say that I don't know where the money will come from, I don't know where it will come from, I don't know how will I reach, how will I find the right people, I don't know about marketing. This is all secondary. This is not even the first step. The first step is what you want to do and how will you eventually do it, given a hypothetical situation that you have all the money and the resources to do it. So chalk out a plan of action. That plan of action on paper is step number 1, and this is where majority of the startups fail. Fun fact, out of 195% startups fail. This is a known fact in India. So if out of 100, just 5 are actually surviving beyond 2 years, 4 years, they are surviving because they're able to survive not for 4 years, but for 365 days into 4, 1 day at a time. And they're able to survive that 1 day and that 1 week because their plan of action on a daily basis is correct. They know what to do and how to do it. So that clarity is required, and that is step number 1. That is the biggest challenge that you can face. Because even after funding, people fail. So money will never be a problem. Even if you have the money, if you're not using it in the right way, if the product is not good, if it's not adequate, the money cannot do anything about it.
Yes, very true. So, taking the discussion forward, uh, would like to maybe get answer that challenges are part of any journey. But when we especially talk about entrepreneurship, people think that finances are something which is the biggest challenge. So,
Right.
would you please address this? What
Yeah,
is something very important for an entrepreneur?
right. I just said this. I think I just answered this question where I said that finances will never be a problem. You will still have to figure out. You will still have to figure out what you want to do and how you want to do it on a daily basis.
Yeah.
That will be step 1. There are at least 50 ways of finding the money that you need to run a business. So money is not a problem. It's how you utilize that money in order to make that money grow is the challenge. I don't want you to think about money. Where you
Yes.
have the money and then what you do with it. How will you double it in a year's time, in 2 years' time? Put it on paper and convince me that this is right. That's it. If you're able to achieve this, finding money is never going to be a problem.
Very true. And when we all witness a very strong startup wave in country, there are multiple angel investors, VC funds, and government funds are there. those who are ready to invest in your idea. And your team, I think, team and your own passion, I think, is the biggest thing to be observed while you are being, funded by any investor for your idea. What is your thought on this? That when you are going to an investor, what is something they are seeking in your idea, in your team, and you as a founder?
So it's also beyond these three. It's also, like I said, an investor is somebody who is not your relative. They're not your parents. They are not people who have an emotional attachment with you. They are only interested in you because you will take 100 rupees from them and give them back 250 rupees. So they are interested in the plan that you have. They are interested in how you will achieve it on a daily basis. They are also interested in how you have done it so far. If you watch Shark Tank India, you will realize that there are questions around how much money have you invested, how much money are you making, what is your profit, what is your burn rate, how much money are you putting into marketing, how are you putting money into marketing, what is the unique selling proposition, all of those things. So why are these questions asked? Because this is a factor that the investor is wanting to understand. That if I'm giving you 100 rupees and I know that I will not be able to recover those 100 rupees, let alone making profit out of it, I will not be interested in you. You could be a gold medalist. You could be the smartest person in the sun. But I will not invest in you if you can't prove me that you have taken 100 rupees and made 150, 200 rupees from it. Which means your plan of action on a daily basis is faulty. It will all come back to that. Every single time. So when we sit with investors, even when I invest, I will always look at it from a plan of action, from a structured perspective, from a rational perspective, than just look at the people I like. No, won't happen like that.
Very true, very true. And Daksh, I would like to understand that usually there is a myth, maybe a myth. I would like to get your point of view that any entrepreneur, before starting any idea, must have some professional experience. What is your take on this? And what is your input for the students while they are planning their career?
I have a mixed opinion about this. Firstly, it depends on what kind of business do you want to set up. You may not know anything about that line, but you might be interested and you're willing to learn, explore, get the right people who know more about it than you, and then work on it. You could be a good marketer, but you don't know how logistics work. So you partner up with a co-founder or a partner who has a background in logistics. So you don't have to have a corporate experience in logistics to start something in logistics. That is one way of looking at it. So, but you have to be smart enough to understand how what you want to do can be achieved in an ethical way. You need to understand that business, yes. You need to understand that industry, yes. Are your academics important? 110%. We think that the education system has nothing to do with entrepreneurship. Everything will come back and fall into place when you realize it. There are a lot of things that we've studied in school that I am doing in my business on a daily basis. So never look at it from just a horse view perspective. There are a lot of things that you have to understand in school. And to answer the question, yes, some bit of subject knowledge is required. But in case it's not there, it doesn't exist, you can always bring somebody in and then learn over a period of time. But that does not stop you from starting something that you may not have corporate or educational background in. That's for sure.
Very true. Very true. And by any means, education plays a very significant role in our life. And
Absolutely.
in a bookish knowledge, what kind of exposure we are taking as an academician, as a part of, engineering college, one of the very reputed engineering college. What I observed is this is all about how you are perceiving things, how you are taking your own learning through your sessions in class, through your lectures in class, through different clubs membership which you are taking, or you are a part of, you are one of the leader among them, where you are slowly learning team building, you are learning how to manage your work uh, within core team with other members, how to get your work done, how to manage your information flow, rather how to communicate with people. When in our college we to conduct any event in offline mode, then organizing committee members learn how to talk to the guest in general, how to provide hospitality to esteemed guest, what are the etiquettes, what are the ethics to be followed, and how to manage in the within the channel itself. So these small learnings where which we can implement in our professional lives are very very important. So this is a message to students through this session, that get involved more and more, learn to take responsibility, I think, take ownership, try to make yourself as a brand, that something is responsibility if is being given to you, then in what efficiency you are going to accomplish your task, that is something you are getting as a credit for your profile, which doesn't require any certificate, which doesn't require any resume, which comes out as a natural flow while you talk to people, while you interact in your interviews and all. And moreover, Daksh, I would like to take your input as well. This is my understanding that communication is definitely very essential. Communication is skills. But once you have an experience, once you have that knowledge, it comes naturally out when you start speaking. You need not to frame the words, you need not to have a very designed, very framed language, but this is something comes out from your very simple words, that what kind of attitude you have, what kind of learning you have had, and what kind of ownership capability you have, which is really an asset for any organization. So thank you for coming to this point, and would take another question from audience. I think Navya Gupta is asking, how do we differentiate between innovators and entrepreneurs?
So, good question. Entrepreneurs are innovators, should be innovators. Innovators may not be entrepreneurs. So, innovators are people who might look at things in a very different way, might come up with something creative, innovative. These people could be working in the company of yours. These are people who might eventually want to start something of their own, do something that already exists, but in an innovative way.
Right.
So that becomes a differentiator. Both of them go hand in hand. This is what it means.
Right. So I'll be taking another question, Daksh. Allow me. Aradhya Kaushik. Sir, when a startup gathers workforce, the workforce doesn't have the same enthusiasm as the founder, which may hinder the work. Is it a problem one will have to face? And how may one deal with it? Very good question, I think.
Good question. So this is also a very common question.
Genuine question.
Yeah, no, this happens also. The workforce may not have the same enthusiasm. They are not supposed to have the same enthusiasm because it is not their company. They are working. Yes, they can. You can make them feel equally important, and this is where you and your people skills comes into picture. How can you make them feel as part of the team? They may not have the same enthusiasm, so you have to compensate for it somewhere. Have the protocols in place so that even if they're low on enthusiasm, work is not hindered. You need to have a combination of people who are extremely enthusiastic and people who can just follow what they're supposed to be, what they're supposed to follow and do. Having that mix is the right mix. Not everybody is enthusiastic. Also, enthusiasm is a very subjective term. It is also a situational term. It may not, the level of enthusiasm which I had in morning may not be there in the afternoon. So these are subjective terms. This should not be looked at as black and white. The more they feel the part of the team, the less of a fluctuation in enthusiasm do you feel.
Very, very true. And I understand we are about to, complete our time, but again, we'll take your permission to ask few more questions. Arnav Goyal is there, and he's asking main difference between a business and an entrepreneur. Maybe.
So a business is right. So a business is any form of trade where you are uh, in exchange for any product or service, you are exchanging money. This is business. Now, the person behind the thought of this business is somebody who has entrepreneurial skills or who has set up the business. An entrepreneur, by definition, is somebody who has a registered business of their own. So, business and entrepreneur are somewhere overlapping but not the same thing.
Right, right. Right. Maybe some, innovative way of marketing. Innovation may have a different, multi-directional approach. It may be this product, the similar kind of product, but different in design, different in features and all.
Yes.
Yeah. And coming to next, Riya Agrawal wants to ask, what do you think is the difference between a leader and a boss?
A boss is by virtue of position, a leader is by virtue of acceptance, where you accept that somebody who's going to lead the project or the concept, which means you are following something that this person has thought about. You are accepting this person's judgment. You believe and trust this person will take us through. A boss is a leader, and a boss may not be the same person either. A boss is by virtue of position. So if you are an assistant manager and your boss is your manager, then by virtue you will have to follow what your boss thinks. You may not believe in the boss. You may not trust the boss. But if the boss asks you to do it, then by virtue of position and designation you are bound to do it. A leader is somebody who is not bound by virtue of position. So it could be a team leader where you're believing and trusting what this person is. But if there's a boss, you will have to do exactly what they're doing, even if you don't trust in them. So always strive to be a better leader than a boss.
Try to be, sorry?
Try to be a better leader than
Yes.
thinking of becoming a boss.
Very true, very true. And that's a dynamic approach. That's a team approach, rather, to bring out the maximum out of any person, out of any professional
Yes.
with a leadership approach. So, thank you, Daksh. And towards the end of the session, would like to take your mantras for school children, those who are about to take their path for the career, their education. What is your suggestion for them?
So multitasking, involve yourself into extracurricular activities. Like I said, Always be a curious learner. Just keep asking questions. Try to also keep your eyes and ears open to new ideas and new innovations. How are people doing something that they're doing? If they can, why can't I? Should be a question that you always ask to yourself. And always do something that you enjoy doing. So if you think you're good at something and you would want to do something of your own someday in around that field, that is where that kida and that spark for entrepreneurship really starts. So if you think you can, like I said, chalk out a plan of action. How will you do this on a daily basis? Given all the right things and everything falls into place, what is going to be your blueprint, your structure behind doing what you want to do? This is how you follow it. This is the mantra.
Yes, very true. So, any other questions from audience side, please? We are about to close the session. Sachi ma'am, any questions from your side?
No, ma'am. I think it was a very insightful session for the student. Lot many learning. Like he said, emphasized on multitasking. And as a student, I'm sure that a lot of our students, they are going through it. And now they have to actually inculcate this habit of multitasking and a curious learner. These two things is actually what we keep on telling them, and he's reinstating that. So I hope that by this time, all of you, those who are attending, must understand that how important these qualities are, right?
Yes, yes. And I would like to add, with all the permission of esteemed guest and Sachi ma'am. So, one more thing which I need to understand over here, that challenges are part of life. We have to become a part of solution. Just understand the problem and inculcate a habit to find out the solution. Keep on working, keep on finding a better solution always. And this is a journey. The thing is perfect. And I think with the small improvements, we can always come up with better solutions. We can inculcate a habit of never giving up. So, with this attitude of never giving up, taking your challenges heads on, would be leading to you towards a victorious life with a sense of satisfaction being in job or being an entrepreneur. And again, entrepreneurship is a mindset. Even entrepreneurship, which means that you are entrepreneur in your job itself. You are not waiting for any instruction to be completed. Rather, you are the one framing instruction for your own self. You are able to visualize what is good, what is best that can be done around your work periphery. So that is, I think, we all need to understand as students. You may inculcate a habit of entrepreneurship by thinking what is good for you, how you can implement your knowledge, what's something extra you can learn in your summer break, what is something which can help you in understanding your own taste, your own personality, what makes you happy. So I think these small efforts can lead towards a happy life, towards a life full of satisfaction. And again, as Daksha said, don't think of money. Trust all of us, I think, the senior people over here. Money will outflow by as a byproduct. Just think of serving humanity. Just think of making your life a success in terms of giving something. Just develop an attitude of giving. And I, per my observation, life is all about from taking to learn giving, how much we can give back. And when we think of becoming a giver, God will definitely bless us to be capable enough of giving. So, with these points, I would like to again pay our gratitude to esteemed guest of the day, Mr. Daksh. He has accepted our invitation, and I think the best thing a person can give to society is his or her time, and he has given us his precious time to us. Thank you so much, Daksh. On behalf of entire Inprastha Engineering College, I'm heartily thankful to you for accepting our invitation and making it happen today with all the questions on board. I'm thankful to all the audience, to the organizing committee, which is working hard at the back end. Bhumika ma'am, Alka ma'am, Mandeep Katre sir, Lavkush sir, and Mr. Anmol. And I'm thankful to Director sir, our honorable management for supporting us in conduction of such kind of programs. I'm thankful to Shachi Pandey ma'am for again managing the show, starting
Thank
from.
you, ma'am. It was very insightful. Even I believe that Daksh is a person whom we will require more because the kind of activities he's involved into, like study
Yes,
tours and all. So we actually look forward, and thanks for connecting to such a huge, resourceful person to us.
yes. Really, Daksh, I'll be connecting to you, Shachi ma'am, and he will be taking towards management of Setan Ram Japriya School.
Yeah.
And I'm thankful to all the active learners who are keeping their camera on and giving us inspiration to keep continued with all the enthusiasm. Yeah, thank you, Akshita. Thank you, Swatanch, Navya, and few more students who have been very active during the entire session. Thank you, each one of you. Have a nice time. And Daksh, we would be waiting for your offline session,
Certainly, ma'am. Certainly. I'll be
maybe
looking
at the
forward to this.
campus.
I'll be
So,
looking forward to this. Thank you so much for, of course, inviting me. On this is a topic which is very close to me. Uh, I love narrating my journey and try to also give a reality check to a lot of people, help them also become a better version. Somebody back when I was in college, in my early days of school life as well, somebody just like myself today talking to you had spoken to me back then. So some these are little things that sort of triggered me as well, that I can push, I can do. So somewhere I sort of reflect upon, and I reflect back onto those days, and I realize that out of 80 or maybe 50 today, if there's maybe one or two that might take back something for a longer time, this might actually work out. So always happy to give back something to the society. It's a great initiative, Priyanka ma'am. Certainly looking forward to talking to Shachi ma'am as well. We'll definitely stay connected, and looking forward to more such sessions for sure.
yeah, thank you. And at the last, I'll be requesting each one of you to kindly switch on your cameras for a group photograph to make this moment a memorable one. And utilizing digital platform as well, social media, and remarking the presence of a highly dynamic audience as well. So students, I'm waiting for the cameras to be opened by you all, those who can. Thank you, Vikram, Riya. I'm waiting for others. Amolik, Aradhya, and Gamers Glory. Akshita, you are there. Navya. Waiting for others, few more seconds. If you can switch on your cameras for a group photograph, it would be great to capture. Arnav, thank you. Taking few more seconds, please, so that we can connect with everyone. Yeah, thank you. Thank you. I've taken the photograph. Thank you, each one of you, once again. Have a nice time. Once again, thank you, Daksh.
Thank
And
you.
thank you, Shachiji, for the
Thank
session.
you, Priyanka, ma'am.
Thank you all.
Okay.
Thank
Have a
you.
nice time.
Thank you.
Let's meet tomorrow in offline mode at 9:15 at Indraprastha Engineering College, Ghaziabad. Looking forward to you all, to welcome you for very exciting sessions on different technologies. Thank you, everyone.